Hey, Mr. Fotema, thank you very much for meeting yesterday. And just like we discussed, I said I was going to be showing you around our robotics lab. This is where we actually store most of the items that we're sending to Africa. It doubles as an office, as it were, as well for us. So, for example, these are some of the robots that we have that would be going to Cameroon. That is a boxer. Basically, it's a large size robot in itself. It basically has functions, more like general functions that teach the kids basics of robotics. And the idea is for them to not just see how this works. Much later, they are going to be able to dissect these robots to be able to look inside, see the electronics, and whatnot. We are going to be sending one of this. That is the Oculus, Meta Oculus. We're going to be sending this basically for teach the basics of visual reality (VR). Much later, that will be for the advanced kids. Of course, the goal is to teach them VR, AR, augmented reality, virtual reality, and then we have some tools, as it were. These toys and these robots are not all going to Cameroon. Some of them are going to problem space labs in Nigeria and other parts of the country as well. We might be sending some of the robotic components and elements, for us for this particular trip. But basically, this is just, the tools. Though this is the VRO headset, that I talked about, that we are going to be sending. One of these basically will be going to Educare. And then, this boxer robot as well will be going, to, this December. And then these are a couple of robotic elements that we still have. This is a smart Arduino for home. Basically, it builds a wooden home structure, that kids can get familiar with how robotics work. How, for example, you can build a home and AI can actually control, the thermostats for your air conditioners, the doors, the security camera, and all of that. That is a miniature home, and it's really very interesting. I do not know if I'm going to be sending this one just yet, but that's one of the things that we intend to do down the line. We also have robots here, but of course, these are not for the kids. These are for, our engineering team who are building humanoids as part of our way of developing our robotic capabilities. And then, of course, those are amnoids or amroids, as it were, hand devices that is used basically in most of these stores and most of these organizations that are carrying out automated work. So there you have it. Some of these elements will be going. Oh, this is an omni-wheel robot. This basically will not be going yet, but it's a super interesting concept that we're going to be teaching the kids. This is the battery pack. This is the LiDAR. And of course, this is the engine. This is the Raspberry Pi engine, motherboard that we are using basically to drive this robot. It operates with a PI style controller, but the goal is because it uses, you can program it using the the ROS, robotic operating systems. It can actually use the LiDAR to measure distance and be able to make a pivot if it notices that there's an obstacle in its way. So these are some of the things that we are doing. What makes our program really interesting is we're not just providing a hardware for the kids to really experience this. We're building a learning management system that teaches the kids how to actually configure these devices, use them, just awaken their curiosity and their creativity. In the long term, we want to be able to convert these learning modules into French, into local dialects across the African continent. Swahili, Igbo in Nigeria, Yoruba, and the various languages in Africa. The goal is, language should not be a barrier. Kids should be able to really explore and learn about robotics and AI. So we are about robotics and AI, and This is the Problem Space Center that controls all the labs that we're building across the African continent. So, thank you once again for your support, for giving us an opportunity to serve. Thank you.